was a absolutely unrealistic uh, growth trajectory. We hit over 250,000 subscribers in a year, and that came down to like a very extensive business plan and strategy that I had accumulated over like yeah, like almost like 10 years of like consuming YouTube content and making YouTube content. And we're a team of five people. Like we have two editors, now three editors. We have two writers, a project manager, and me. So like this is not something you can just like, all right, what's up, fam? We're out here.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome to Deep MCs, the podcast that seeks to push meaningful conversation to a whole new level. Whether it's for your entertainment or your personal growth, we appreciate you being here today. And now, on to the show. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Deep MCs, where we have this time yet another episode of Behind the Scenes with a very special guest, a self-proclaimed Patagonia fan, the creator, voice, and face of Futureproof YouTube, Levi Hildebrand. What's going on, Levi? How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. I didn't realize that I was repping the brand right there up front.
Yeah. I mean, look, you made multiple videos about it. You're wearing it. You are Patagonia. Patagonia
That's it.
Needs to cut Levi a check. Let's just put it out there, right?
God,
Maybe.
I mean, he should be sending me something at this point.
No, for sure. What I was going to say, though, in the beginning was I didn't do an introduction to Levi. And I think that this goes to kind of what I was saying before is I watch this man religiously.
Yeah.
Right? I watch this man religiously, and he has never, up until today, known who I am, seen my face, whatever. And I think a lot of times as we consume content, we form attachments to people.
I got you.
Right? Because you think you know them from a basic interaction.
You made that
so
connection,
like,
right?
Yeah, this is Levi, this is my cousin, this is what we do all the time, right? But he has no idea who you are. He has no idea who I am. We don't know him, right? But I think that gets lost a lot of times is because people see these public figures, especially as the channel grows,
right?
And that you form that attachment without it come off-putting almost in a way, right? Because it's like, who are you guys, and why are you why are you hugging me, shaking my hand, right? Whatever. So I do apologize that I missed missed the ball on the intro here. I'm talking the whole time. Levi, Futureproof, we know you from the show, right? Just passing a quarter million subscribers. I've been watching you for a long time. The channel has changed, has progressed. How did it happen? What made you do it?
Futureproof's my second channel. My first one was sort of that was my experimental channel. That was my baby channel. That was my sort of like teenager experimental phase. I spent 5 years doing the wrong thing. So I was making brand reviews. I did a couple brand reviews on my first channel. That's how I kind of knew that something like that would probably do well.
Mm-hmm.
So I did brand reviews, and I did like minimalism, and I was talking about like intentional living. I was talking about like travel. Like I was all over the map.
All over the place.
I was a mess. Yeah, and I liked making all those videos, but I consistently had to sort of fight the reality that people are consumers at the end of the day from like YouTube's perspective. And so they're always going to push that kind of content. So if you target or make stories about products, brands, companies, you will appeal to the consumer focused lens that YouTube has. And so I didn't like that from like a ethical standpoint. Like I don't want to just like promote people buying stuff they don't need. So I started to kind of like tell stories about brands and companies that are like actually honest, instead of just like the promotional stuff that you see online or on TV or whatever. And people seem to like it. They seem to dig it. And that's so we just doubled down. We built a team and just started pumping out content every single week.
Yeah, no, for sure. You are one of the more consistent posters, the people that I watch for sure. It's interesting though to see, like I said, I follow you on the Instagram now, and you recently were looking to hire another person as well. And it's just kind of crazy because knowing I never knew that there was another channel, right? Originally,
right.
I know him from Futureproof. It just popped up one time many moons ago, and I just have been watching it ever since, right?
Yeah.
So, to know and see that there's a step that was before that is an important step, because I feel a lot of people don't realize, like what you said, you had 5 years of doing the wrong thing before you really landed on the right one. And I find that a lot of people out there, they think that it just happens.
Yeah, like it's just going to be an overnight success, and I'll start my YouTube channel and boom, I'm gonna have 1,000 views. With my second video. Right, that's the idea.
Yeah, no, that's pretty crazy, man. I think that's an important thing for people to understand, that it's a grind. It's not an overnight thing, even though it may appear to be, right? No, go ahead.
Because I like the 5 years. I mean, that's only like one. That's only like one section of it. Like, I genuinely think if you're gonna launch a YouTube channel in 2022, it's so stacked against you. Like, so when we launched Futureproof, it already had 10,000 subscribers from the day we posted the first video, because I promoted it on my first channel. I said, look, I'm gonna make a whole dedicated channel to this thing that a lot of you really seem to like, and if you like that thing, follow it for that. Don't follow this channel. Unsubscribe from this channel. Go follow that channel. And so before we even posted our first video, we had 10,000 subscribers. Within 1 month, we were already on AdSense. We were already making money from Google AdSense, which is like a pretty big milestone for a new channel if you don't have a base like that. And then basically out the get-go, we were pulling in like 10 to 20,000 views a video. Like, it was a absolutely unrealistic growth trajectory. We hit over 250,000 subscribers in a year, and that came down to like a very extensive business plan and strategy that I had accumulated over like almost like 10 years of like consuming YouTube content and making YouTube content. And we're a team of 5 people. Like, we have 2 editors, now 3 editors. We have 2 writers, a project manager, and me. So like, this is not something you can just like, all right, what's up, fam? We're out here.
Yeah, right.
Subscribe, like, that's not going to get you, to where we are. And I think that's very, people don't realize that the people who they see online are business people. They're like incredibly successful, very like cunning people who've like manipulated a system to their benefit. And it's easy to like feel shitty about yourself if you're like, oh, why am I not famous?
Right. That was actually one of my questions, is what did that team look like? And so you explaining that it helps too, right? Because a lot of people think that they can just set up a camera, get a couple mics and go for it. But clearly there's a team of individuals who are not only working behind the scenes, but coming up with ideas and helping to kind of continue to push the whole scenario. In that first 5 years, what did the team look like?
Team was me.
It was just you, right? Gotcha.
I did literally everything.
Yeah.
And I was burning myself out pretty hard. And what I think I realized with this journey, and I'm sure that you've experienced this in some way. I'm not the best video maker. Like, I'm not very good at like create, like, I'm not Casey Neistat. I can't like whip out the camera, be like the most charismatic individual, produce it perfectly, deliver it at like a crazy pace,
right? And
also be a marketing genius. Like, I've learned through this process that I'm kind of better at the high level stuff. Like, I'm not a vlogger. I'm not very good at vlogging. I'm not the best writer. I'm not very good at research. I'm not the best editor because I'm not patient enough. In fact, I hate like clickety clacking all day. Like, that just drives me crazy. But in this process, it was humbling as hell, because I was like, Oh yeah, that edit's way better than what I could have done.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah. So I should probably hire them to do that. And then like the writer came in, she delivered the first script, and I was like, yeah, that's great. That's great. You should do that. I guess I'll pay you money to do that, because like I can't do that shit. And so now I'm the face. Like I have people come up to me and they're like, "Oh my god, dude, I love Futureproof. That's so sick. How did you get that job? Like, how did you like find the person? Like, how did you apply for that?" I'm like,
I worked my ass off.
I just knew a guy.
Right.
It's all about networking, you know?
Yeah, that's crazy, man. And it's just always, every time we do one of these behind the scenes, it's just, for me, it's just so intriguing and so interesting to hear your stories, man, and just be able to kind of see like everything that goes on, I guess, behind the scenes, right? Because you really can't tell. Like you say, you're not a charismatic person, but your delivery, the way you do things, you know, there's a little sarcasm in there at times. Like there's a lot that you do. You do a great job, man. So I mean, hey, for whatever that's worth, from a nobody, you do a great job, right? So it is interesting though to see you to say, hey, you know, I'm not good at this, or I'm not good at that. You know, it doesn't show, it doesn't translate across to us. So it is a large disconnect in a way, right, for the consumer, because you do get lost in the story that's being told. You know, like I just finished Teflon, because you did ceramic coating. So you just did that. That went up 2 days ago, right? So fuck, you couldn't tell me you didn't research that. I mean, you went through it so well,
right?
You know, right? It's just like, hey, it is what it is. He knows his shit. Which actually,
and I'm a bit pissed, man, because I have pots, man, and I got to go back through the kitchen, man. I'm like, oh man, what the hell?
Throw it out. Get it out of there.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. I'm like, well, you're not supposed to keep these for more than a year,
man. What are we doing?
I don't know. That's probably what's wrong with me right now.
Exactly.
Too many chips.
That's why I can't lose these pounds, man. It's in my pots. That's the problem.
It's in the pots.
That's probably it.
When you do.
So here's another secret that you probably don't know. I went to acting school.
Really?
Gotcha.
Yeah, so I'm a trained actor.
Okay.
I did 4 years of acting school. I've been in commercials. I've acted in, you know, short films and stuff. Like that was my first like I want to be famous moment. Was like
Got it.
I was like a 19-year-old idiot, and I was like, I'm gonna be famous. I'm gonna, you know, go out on television or whatever. And I hated that game so much. I ended up doing YouTube, but I for all of the pain and suffering that I went through in acting school, it taught me how to present myself in a certain way.
Yeah.
And I think that's like right now we're casting for a host for the second Futureproof channel that we're going to be launching in 2023.
Right.
And it's the hardest job to fill. Like to find somebody who like knows how to be confident and like authentically themselves on camera. Right. In particular, talking about something they don't give a shit about. That's the thing. Like, I don't give a shit about ceramic cookware. Like, I do. Like, I think you should not buy that shit, and you should buy different shit. Like, I do believe that. But, like, I'm not going to do the research. I'm not going to, like, go out and, like, figure out what the difference is between these two pans. Like, so in some ways, like, I'm the person who Futureproof is for. Because, like, I don't want to do all the research. I just want it to be presented to me. Like, I read through the scripts, and I'm like, oh shit, are you serious?
You're learning just like we are.
They're allowed to do that? Yeah, exactly. And then I deliver it to you like I know what I'm talking about. And meanwhile, like some person just wrote it for me and I'm reading.
You know what, man?
From.
I'm done. I'm clocking out, man.
Yeah. That's crazy. That's crazy. So do you think now you say you did acting or you went into acting. What is it with, because I would assume you're born in Canada, right? Or no? Yeah. So a lot of Canadian there's a ton of Canadian actors, especially here in the States. Like, is that just something? Is that like one of those things where, I don't know. I've never lived in Canada. Is that just, you know, you grew up and you're either going to be an actor or
it's now become more of a thing because like we have Ryan Reynolds, Ryan Gosling, you know, there's lots of famous people from Canada that are in the U.S. because we are a talent hub because of our basically the trade relationships that we have with the United States. Like you can hire a Canadian actor for 25% less than an American actor. So for a lot of production companies, they come to Canada, they hire actors at 25% of the rate. They get a tax break. So basically they don't pay taxes on anything, and they get huge facilities and all these things. So because we're so close to the US, and like Vancouver in particular is like just north of LA, there's a huge industry that's basically like little Hollywood. And so we have a ton of famous people that just get like Drake. The only reason why Drake is famous is because he's from Canada, not, you know, somewhere in Europe. You know, if he was somewhere in Europe, maybe he would have become famous. But like, really, it's because he's from Toronto, and Toronto's just north of New York City. So like, when he's flexing on people and, you know, talking his big game, it's like, oh, where are you from? Toronto. It's like, okay, well, actually, most Americans know where Toronto is. Yeah. Most Americans know that Toronto is a big ass city, and you know, there's like real shit going on there. And so Canadians kind of get like periphery swag from the US. Gotcha. And so, you know, we just happen to get famous people out of it. Like Justin Bieber, dude. Like Justin Bieber, he's just a dude, but like he happened to be, you know, there's a little bit of Canadian shine, a little something else because he's from Canada, not from the US. And he got that friggin' hair. Right. You know?
Yeah. And now look at him.
And you just put him on a Tim Hortons box.
Man, so you talked about the acting, right? You talked about the 5 years of work. Did you ever, when did it dawn on you that, man, I have something here? Like, when did it click that all of these things that I've been doing have gotten me to this point? And is from this point, what's
now.
next? Yeah, now. Yeah, and from now, what's next?
Yeah, I don't know how old you guys are, but I'm 30 years old now. And for me, 30 years old meant sort of like, I should have some sort of understanding that like I got a life beyond today. Like I lived like an idiot throughout like most of my 20s. Like I was just like, what?
Yeah.
And I was able to live recklessly. And I think this is important to say, because I had a safety net. Like I knew from the beginning that like I had if I failed completely, like if I went into acting school and it was like it was a terrible idea and like I got depressed or whatever, I could go home, my parents would be like, I love you. You know, like hang out here till you figure it out, you know.
Gotcha.
And that's an incredible amount of privilege to be able to have that and just to be able to explore, like just to be able to play and like do stupid shit. So I never had the expectation that I was going to be like massively successful, and that allowed me to like keep pushing. Like I went back to school. I spent 4 years at university studying acting. Like, oh my God, dude, that's a terrible idea. And then I went and like was in the industry for a couple of years. I traveled the world. I like, you know, saved up a bunch of money and like traveled through Southeast Asia and India and China. And I was like, you know, just did some shit and then came back and then went back to school. Like I spent another 4 years at university and like I was just like, clearly I didn't have a plan because like I was just like throwing shit at the wall, see what sticks. Yeah. And that's an incredibly important thing because I think there's so many people now that are like, I gotta go to school because I gotta get a job. Like I gotta get money as soon as possible because like there's no way I'm gonna be able to survive if I don't get that money. So I'm gonna go into accounting, even though I fucking hate accounting. And I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna do that because it's the right choice. So I was able to play. I was able to like do a bunch of different stuff. And then when it all made sense was honestly when I launched Futureproof. Like I made the second channel and I was like, okay, this is a combination of my acting skills. This is a combination of my entrepreneurial skills. And this is my social skills. Like, I understand the game. Like, I understand YouTube. I understand how like psychology works. I'm educated in human psychology because I've taken some classes in university. But socially, I understand what people want and need. So I know how to run a team. Not because I took a managerial class at business school, but because like I just kind of know what people want to be treated like. And so I think our team is really happy. And the only reason why Futureproof works is because the team is just like great, and they love it, and they enjoy working with me, and I enjoy working with them. And then the acting kind of played into that. So like everything that I've done accumulated in this one project. I would have never been able to launch Futureproof 3 years ago, 2 years ago. You know, it needed to be now, and it just kind of happened to be at that particular moment. And you can't rush it. You can't.
Yeah.
You know, and if you don't press upload on the 5 years of stupid videos that I put out leading up to this point, I wouldn't have learned how to run a YouTube channel.
Right,
I wouldn't have known what we needed to make it work, you know?
Because
I did every single one of the jobs myself before I hired out for them.
Gotcha.
That makes sense, man.
Yeah.
So speaking of running the team, so what is that like for you? So here you are, like I said, you're 30 years old. You're finally hitting your stride. You have a team of people, a real team, not just yourself. I mean, what does that feel like for you? What is that? Do they only work for you? Or if you are not successful, are they not eating tomorrow? You know, like is there a pressure there? I mean, what is that like for you, man?
I think that this is probably a common thing. Like I think anyone who's gone from doing something themselves to like hiring a team, it's a sort of a weird experience, because your job changes without you kind of even noticing, and the skill set's completely different. Like I don't think I would be successful in this if I wasn't not naturally, but like my personality is well suited to leadership in this particular circumstance for whatever reason. Maybe it's because I'm stubborn, maybe it's because I'm hard-headed, or like I just like know what I want and I'm willing to just like say that I want it. But like I have 2 people now whose only job is Futureproof, and if Futureproof doesn't do well, then they're out of a job. Like our monthly expenses are double what I was making in a month on my own before this. Yeah. So what I pay to people to make content is double what I personally earned every single month. Yeah. Like that's crazy. The overhead is wild. Like if one cog in this machine kind of like slips up, this is a lot of momentum. This is a lot of stuff that could come crumbling down. And it's given me massive perspective. And that's why we're launching the second channel, honestly, is because I recognize now that with such a huge ship, you can't put all your eggs in that basket, because it is vulnerable, right? Like if AdSense were to like cut in half tomorrow, our whole system is completely screwed. Like we have to totally overhaul our business model. We got to launch some kind of Patreon, or we got to like diversify really, really quickly. And that's not good. So yeah, the second channel is sort of like me now having to act like a leader, like a business guy, which is like none of my degrees. My degrees are in acting and geography. Like I don't have a business degree, and now I'm like, all right, diversify your portfolio. You know, like
right.
And that skill set, I think, is something that you see in a lot of people, like people who, started a taco shop, and they just love making tacos, really good at making tacos, and then they realize, oh shit, my taco shop is popular. I'm gonna like hire people to make these tacos, but they're not a leader. They're not a person who understands how to run a business. They're a person who understands how to make tacos. And that is often the failure of a lot of businesses, I think, is the inability to go from you as a person doing something as a physical task to them being that person managing and working with a group of people to accomplish that same task. They're 2 completely different skill sets. And luckily for me, I'm actually pretty good at working with people. And so that's why I think we've been relatively successful up to this point.
No, for sure, man. I mean, it shows. It's definitely you definitely have the personality for it. Yeah. So, pat yourself on the back for that, if you will, man. So for you, is this your only? Are you only Futureproof now? I mean, are you only just in growing the shows? I mean, is that your sole purpose going forward, or do you have something off on the side, or a hidden project we don't know about that's about to come out, or what's going on?
Yeah, well, I think the second Futureproof channel is going to be an interesting like expansion. That's going to be like like I think launching Futureproof was a pretty big deal for me. Launching the second channel, that's like almost as big of a deal, because if I can do it twice, if I can hire somebody to produce a channel that is the same as this channel and both of them do relatively well, all right, now we're rolling. Now it's like, okay, I've figured something out. I can start extrapolating this into like maybe a third channel. Maybe this becomes a network. Maybe I can, you know, what does this become? Really, the sky's the limit if the second one works. So we'll see. And if it flops, all right, so maybe I got to try something else. Maybe I got to do something different. The challenge for me right now is like, I'm trying to figure out how to vlog, because I can't sit still. I got too much going on in my head. So I always gotta try some stuff. So right now, my wife and I are traveling through Mexico. We've been on the road since June, and we're kind of doing the van life thing, you know, like we're kind of like living on the road, digital nomad kind of thing. And it's great, but this is way harder than Futureproof. This is like absolutely the most difficult thing I think I've ever done, because like there's no searchability. Like the whole way that I understand YouTube is like somebody goes on YouTube, they go Birkenstocks, and then they press enter, and then I know that if I can create a good enough thumbnail and a good enough title, there's a chance that they'll click on my video. But like when you're traveling through Mexico, it's like traveling in Mexico. Like why would anybody find that? Like how do they discover this? The discoverability is so completely different in the vlogging space. So I'm trying to like kind of see if I can hack that world a little bit, see if I can like worm my way in there. It's not super easy. You know, it's a struggle so far. And that's an interesting thing for me, is to have like one channel that's like absolutely crushing it. Like the ceramic cookware video, that's our best performing video of like the last like 10. It's like it hit like, you know, 150,000 views in 2 days. We're like, wow, that's amazing. And then like the last two videos that I posted for my vlog channel have been the worst performing videos I've posted in the last 10 days. So I'm like, it's like two absolute extremes. And I don't know, I think that keeps me humble a little bit. It's
okay.
Like,
I was about to ask you, how does that, you know, work through the psyche?
Dude, it's brutal. It's hard, man. It's tough, because like I understand that the stuff I'm producing is great. I think it's some of the best like personal content I've ever made. Like my old channel, 5 years of doing the wrong thing, this is like that again, but it's like I think I'm making the coolest stuff I've made. You know, it's the most interesting, it's the most dynamic, it's the most fun for me to edit, it's the most fun for me to make, but nobody gives a shit, because it's not something that people are really interested in anymore. I think van life peaked like 4 years ago, you know, and like travel content sort of died with COVID. So I don't know, there's a gap there, and I'm kind of just swimming around in it, lost. I don't really know what to do.
So does this just become more for you than for everybody else then? I mean, does that you know, personal vlog just become, hey, this is just about me presenting my life. It's fun for me, you know, and it's more about me presenting like really who I am, me and my wife. And then this other thing over here that's for you guys. This is for me.
Exactly. Yeah, that is exactly what it is. And the whole goal, the whole thing that I tried to set out, I was like, look, if I can live an abnormal lifestyle, if I can live something cool, like we're traveling around the world for a year, like I would never be able to do that without having a way to justify the expense of it. Because like my wife, you know, she works at a university. She's able to teach online, but like she's only able to teach part-time online because they don't offer a ton of classes online. So I'm compromising her lifestyle, you know, professionally to go and do this fun thing. And I'm not able, you know, to, I mean, I guess I'm still able to make the same content that I would have made. It's just more interesting. But yeah, it's like a huge risk. It's a risk for me to come and do this trip. And so my whole goal was like, okay, if I can be self-sufficient, if I can like make enough money off this channel to like cover the expenses of traveling, I'll do it. So far we've been able to do that, but this is the dream, is like, you know, can you live in Mexico and make content?
This is amazing. The place is beautiful, man. We got paused up there for a hot second, so it did freeze, but we'll kind of change gears and keep the ball rolling. What I did want to ask you, because you brought up a couple things. So you said you've been on the road since June, right? Is that right?
Yeah.
So you've been churning out videos consistently. Are you recording in Mexico, or these things, or are these things that you had backlogged, or right? Because I think a lot of times what we find out, like I watch a couple other shows, and we're here in Texas. We just had Formula One recently.
Yeah.
That was in October, and I'm seeing people drop videos. Oh yeah, I just got back from Formula One. I'm like, bro, that was 2 months ago. Like you're dropping. So is that how that works? Do you just backlog everything and release it, or are you recording in the process?
Yeah, dude, that's like one of the, I think that's the thing I'm the most proud of is like, so I've been traveling the world for 6 months, living out of a Toyota Prius with my wife, which is already a crazy thing to be doing.
Wow.
But we're also producing 4 videos a month for Futureproof at the same time as I'm publishing 4 videos a month for that channel.
Jeez.
Living out of a Toyota Prius.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy.
So this is not vacation at all. This is no vacation.
Dude, I would say that like my work days, I would say I work like 4 days a week.
Okay.
That makes sense. That's not too bad.
And that's like that's shooting and editing mostly for this main channel. Like Futureproof right now, I would say I spend like 5-6 days in a month of like truly like 8-hour days. I would say I do 5-6 days a month.
That's crazy.
And the rest is people doing the rest of the stuff. The way we're able to do that, so we batch everything in 1 month segments. So we've already shot content for February right now. And that's because December is kind of a weird month. Like nobody works basically from now until January 1st. So what we do is our writer is always writing kind of like 2 months in advance. And then I'm always vetting those scripts. And then once a month we book an Airbnb like this.
Yes.
And I set up in a corner. I have my teleprompter, I have my tripod, I have my camera, I have my microphones. I have no lights. I always shoot with natural light. So every single video that you see is literally me in an Airbnb trying to find a window that I can like set up against. And I'll batch like 4 or 5 videos at a time, and we'll film all 4 videos at the same time in one location. And then the next fit. So if you go back through like Futureproof content, we've already had like 5 or 6 different locations throughout this whole process.
Yeah, no, because
and nobody seems to care.
Well, I don't think we know, but I always wonder. I'm like, how big is Levi's house? Damn, like
what is that studio like?
Like what is it? He's got so much space. Like I'm just trying to figure out, and you don't ever really see it cycle back through for a while. I'm like, this guy is clearly doing something right, But that too, like with your traveling and everything else, like you said, you're working, and while you're going around, like. What I think people, when they think about, I'm going to be a YouTuber, I'm going to be, an influencer, I'm going to be whatever, like you see the glamorous side of it, right? You see that end product, that shiny product. You don't necessarily see the work that's behind it. Right. But like, do you feel, I guess, after achieving this goal personally for yourself, like, do you feel like a free man? Like, you seem pretty happy and pretty relaxed, but like, do you feel like a free man, or is it like, I'm going to enjoy what I have because I have to constantly feed this machine that is, YouTube?
Yeah, that's the thing is I think about, less so now, but like earlier on for sure, I was like, man, I would love to just like make $80,000 a year, work a job I don't care about, check out at the end of the day, go home and just relax. Like that would be amazing. Like I work all the time. I work every day, but I only work like certain parts of the day. Like I'm always, like I got to answer comments, or I got to answer emails, or I got to deal with this or that or whatever. Like my work-life balance is non-existent. I don't have a part of my day that isn't somehow influenced by work. And that's hard. Like I'll never stop working probably. Like the day that I stop working is the day that I've sold my business and I've like made an exorbitant amount of money that I can somehow live off of for the rest of my life, I guess. But even then, I think I would be so bored because my work is so involved with my life. Like I obviously can't stop. I'm not a person who like idles very well. I don't have like patience to like relax.
Yeah.
Like I don't understand what relaxation is. You know, that's what my wife's good at. My wife has taught me how to be like how to relax and enjoy stuff. She's like, maybe you should have a beer. I'm like, yeah, beer. Yeah,
That would be good.
Beer. I'll enjoy that. You know, like we're on a trip. We're in Mexico, and like she's in the pool, and I'm working on my laptop beside the pool. You know, like,
Yeah.
it never ends, man. Like it's a struggle. There's stress at every stage of the game, especially if you want to continue growing. Like you don't grow like Futureproof right now. I know that the easy thing to do with Futureproof is to just double down on Futureproof. Just keep the money coming in, keep the videos going out, keep everybody happy, and just keep it what it is. But I know that if anything were to happen, Futureproof were to be compromised in some way, that's my only egg in my only basket.
Yeah.
Right.
So I'm launching the second channel because I know that you got to diversify and you got to keep things spread out in case, you know, one industry goes down and one stays good or whatever. And that's hard. That's stress, dude. I've been more stressed in the last like 10 days than I've been in a while because like we're hiring 2 new editors, we're hiring a new writer, we're hiring a host. We're changing up the roles. We're, you know, bringing people up to like managerial level. Like it's a lot, man. It's very stressful. We have a lot going on right now. And I'm in Mexico. I'm trying to enjoy the beach.
Yeah.
Well, you're handling it well. And I guess this is kind of what these types of conversations are about, you know, is to give people an inside idea of what it is really like to be you and be in that seat. Because I think a lot of people want to be you. Right. I think a lot of people strive to be able to have that flexibility.
They want to be hired for your job. Right?
Yeah, they want to be hired for your job, you know, and live that lifestyle. But that comes at a price. You know, being the boss is not an easy thing. You know, being the face is not an easy thing. And it's a lot, man. So I salute you in being able to balance all of that, you know, as a whole. Because you know, you think you want it until you get it. You think the grass is always greener. You know, and here you are
every day.
Yeah. every day, you know, there's always something else out there, man. But yeah, I never would have thought.
Man, this is awesome. Yeah.
You get fired up listening to people's success stories.
Yeah, this is
you
awesome.
know? So, hey.
Yeah, well,
I don't want to hold you up too long,
it.
man. I want you to enjoy Mexico. I want you to at least take a little bit of time off for yourself.
Yeah, I don't really think he's gonna do that. To be honest,
he's not.
no.
But his wife is gonna force it if she has to, right? so yeah, man. No, before we get out of here though, I want to give you a chance to plug any and everything, your personal channels, everything you have going on right now, everything Levi. Throw it out there, man. What do you got?
Man. We're just trying to launch a new channel, 2023. We're going to make the announcement at the end of December. So if you follow Futureproof and you see that video, give us a follow. You know, give the new channel a follow. That's going to be a big deal for us. So you know, any love is appreciated over there. But yeah, thanks for having me on, guys. It's cool what you're doing. You guys sort of. You remind me of sort of like a Texas Colin and Samir or something.
Awesome.
We'll take
I love those dudes. So yeah,
Awesome,
yeah,
man.
they're awesome.
No, Levi.
I
I appreciate you so much, bro. I really genuinely do. You are everything that I would imagine you would be. You are just as cool off camera, technically, as you are on. Keep doing what you're doing. We hope that 2023 is a beautiful year for you on the channel, man.
Yeah, man. Stop messing up my kitchen though, because I have to start all over.
Yeah, we're gonna get after your cutlery next. Don't worry.
Come on, man. No, I'm not watching. I'm done.
Hey, I appreciate you, man. We're gonna shut it down right here, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
what's going on, guys? Hopefully you enjoyed the show. We appreciate you listening for sure. But we need your help.
Yeah, we need your help. We need you to like, comment, and subscribe so that we can continue to make great content for you guys.
Yeah, don't forget, like, comment, subscribe.
And it's right here on the screen, everything you need.
Right there. Thank you so much, guys, for listening.
All right, take care.